the winter nights draw closer and most families retreat to the comfort of their sitting rooms, a hardy bunch of restoration heroes deny themselves the warmth of log fires and Dundee cake in favour of repairing rusting classics. Thousands of hours spent in a damp and draughty lockup is small beer to these chrome crusaders.
Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care.
I'm trying, but it takes forever and ever. Hours and hours with only Radio 2 for company and living on a diet of oil-encrusted sandwiches and paint-coated Mars bars. Why do people do it? How do they do it? I'm going to try and find out the secret of restoring success, starting with a man who's restored a Citroën DS, so he must know.
Len Drew's car looked in pretty good nick when he bought it, so how far did he have to strip it down before he started restoration?
I stripped it completely right down to the bare shell. Not a nut and bolt, rubber grommet, a wheel, suspension arm, nothing on it whatsoever. I made all new hydraulic piping because the steel ones rust through, and there's 34 metres odd of hydraulic piping alone in it.
How long did all this take you?
10.5 months from start to finish.
Where did you do all this restoration work, Len?
In the drive where it is now, but in them days there was no garage there, just rough paving stones and old age. It was outside all the time. All the parts I took off, small parts. We've got a spare bedroom. It was like a minefield. They're laid out all ready for going on when assembly time came.
To be honest, I found it all a bit excessive. Is it really necessary to go to such lengths, even for a concourse car?
Every inch of the car counts, and if there's dints anywhere, you've only got to lose a few points. Like I lost a World Concourse Cup at Olympia a few years ago because they found 2 flies on the radiator. And that's 5 points I did.
Cleanliness is the actual thing that counts at these car shows.
Even looking at tyre treads, you have to have them spots clean.
Yes, they do.
Wouldn't you say that this is a bit of an obsession?
Perhaps so, but if I let it deteriorate, it'd be like an everyday car, wouldn't it?
I do get a bit annoyed with him sometimes. He keeps working on it and I want him to come in for his meals. I wouldn't say arguments, but just annoyed.
What wouldn't you say if Len came in one day and said, I'm going to start making another one?
I think, oh no, not again.
At this point, I had to leave Len and his 34 metres of elaborate and shiny hydraulic pipework to see a dentist who has an Aston Martin engine in his sitting room.
Now, I've just met a man who restored a very complicated Citroën with all its hydraulics and everything. It must be a lot easier restoring a pre-war car.
No, I don't think it is. You can't buy the bits from your local dealer, of course. An awful lot has to be made. I must say, when we got hold of it, I got it home and my neighbours thought I'd gone mad. It was just a complete wreck, and we thought that, you know, whoever had owned it, it should have been reported to the RSPCA if there was such a thing for cars. It was a complete wreck. Every moving part was knackered. The bodywork had been severely chopped, and they'd stuck something like the back end of a TR3 on the back of it. And the whole thing was covered with a mixture of mud and rust. It's a curious thing, you know, restoring cars. It's hard work, and you think, what the hell am I doing this for? And as the car's been built, you stop and you think it's worth it. And then you continue on, and you get some more hard graft, and things go wrong, and you get more hassle, and you think, why am I doing it? So there's constantly a succession of hard work and achievements. It's something that you'll always treasure.
Tony, would you say that this love of Aston Martins has become something of an obsession?
Well, yeah, maybe a little bit. I would say that. I suppose that's fair. Yes, like falling in love with a beautiful woman. You just fall in love with her. But you don't really know whether she's any good or not. And then you find that she is fantastic, and that's what the Astons are like. So we'll have a go. We'll try and see if you agree with me. I think you will. Pumps on, retard ignition, press the button, and fire.
A beautiful woman? Well, maybe. But I think that I might have a little trouble manufacturing the bits to keep her going. However, when all the fanatical work stops, there is life outside the workshop, apparently.
I must say that it seems very solitary, hiding yourself in the garage, messing around with old cars. But messing around with old cars has led me into a whole new social life. I've met lots of terrific people. They're usually people who are a bit mad, because anybody who owns an Aston Martin, they don't buy it if they're totally sane, any sort of Aston Martin.
Well, obviously, that's beyond me. So what about a more popular 50s icon? That's got to be easier.
The Healey 100 is one of the rarest now. Obviously, they only made 4,000 something of the cars when they were made, and most of them went to other parts of the world, Australia, Portugal, America, etc. So that there's not a lot of the Healey 100s left, certainly the BN2, which this model is. So finding the parts for the 100 is becoming very, very difficult.
Right, so this one's all stuck together and ready for painting, is it?
Well, it's not quite as easy as that, Tony, I'm afraid. It's got to be stripped down now. Obviously, we fit everything on the vehicle, make sure it fits, and then we take everything off before, obviously, the final painting.
So all the panels will come off, will they?
Yes, all the panels will come off, completely stripped down again. So when we do actually start painting, we know when everything goes back, the windscreen, the lights, etc., everything is obviously fitted perfectly without the chance of scratching the paintwork. You've got to look forward to the vision of what the car is going to be like when it's completed. I mean, I love red cars, and when I started the Healey, I had the vision of having the best 100, Austin Healey 100 in Europe, and that was my vision. I could see the chrome sparkling and the nice red paintwork and the satisfaction I thought I would get at the end of the project, and that was my vision from the start. So you've got to have a goal.
Oh, now, the axle, I mean, that's all finished and ready for going, is it?
Yeah, that is now finished. It's ready for the rolling chassis, what we call the rolling chassis, Tony. The axle was fitted to start with before we painted it. We stripped it out, painted the axle, etc., painted the structure at the back end, and then refitted the axle in. So now that's the finished article. You go into low points of the restoration and you think you'll never ever finish the restoration, and you just go on and on. I mean, scraping the paintwork, the original paintwork off the car, it's a laborious job weekend after weekend, and that is a low point, I think, of the car. But again, you think, well, it's going to be right at the end of it. I'm going to have this beautiful car, and that's what drives you on. That's the dedication and very hard work. We've done quite a lot of welding on this car. In particular, the back wings were very, very badly corroded, and we've had to put new pieces at the bottom of the wing. So we weld the new piece to the old piece, and we joggle it all the way along, and then we grind it off perfectly flat to get a good finish on it.
Good Lord. I don't think that I could do welding, but I'm very good at angle grinding. For sale. One unfinished project.
I think this is more my style.